Shalom, 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 and welcome to Coffee Conversations with David and Monique. Shalom, babe.
Shalom, shalom, and shalom to our listeners. I guess what we were discussing was the current situation. Today is May 8th.
Yes.
And the current situation in the state of Tennessee that has only one majority black congressional district for a whole state. It's very interesting. And how the redistricting would either split that district or eliminate that majority black congressional voting district. So representation in the U.S. House of Representatives would obviously more than likely go to a white candidate. Now, this process has been going on for several years throughout the South and other parts of the United States. You have a high concentration of blacks or African Americans in the southern region of the United States, and specifically in the Deep South. However, there are several economic challenges that should not be. This is an affront to the Voting Rights Act, but however, we're talking about civil rights. Our civil rights are not our biblical or Torah rights. Our civil rights are what a nation or government has allowed us to have. Voting rights is within those civil rights. And this reminds me of years ago when I ran for state senate in a southern state in Louisiana. And I was really shocked because I was a community person. I was on the Economic Development Authority, and I was also a lender in finance. So I had a position as part of a utility for the black community to borrow money for various and sundry economic opportunities and needs that they may have, and also to assist as a commissioner in the overall economic development of not just our community, but the community at large. So I decided that the next step for me would be to go to where the purse strings are so that we would get our proper share of state funding or federal funding through the state of Louisiana. So I ran for state senate. And I ran as a Democrat and learned a major lesson as to how this economy works at the local level and state level, and even at the federal level. First of all, I'm out campaigning as I began my own campaign process with a team. And suddenly at these very strange places, the store, on the street. People would ride by, honk their horns, and say, "Hey, I need to speak with you. I'm going to call your office, your campaign office, and set an appointment with you." And these people were from the Central Committee of the Democratic Party in that area, that particular region. And so I had these visits and lunches, in some cases dinners with these members. And they sent other people to me after they, I guess, were comfortable that I would not be a threat to the tenants, long-term tenants of the Democratic Party in that particular area of the state. So these people started to show up whom I have never met, and they were business people who I had never known, and they were majority black people who visited me. And what they wanted to uphold was the status quo. They were teaching me their lies.
Wow.
One of the biggest ones, and this is the terminology used so that we all understand this: I'm going to fight. Now, whatever it is, you insert what you want, I'm going to fight for. So you can put in there education. I'm going to fight for jobs. I'm going to fight for better economic conditions. I'm going to fight for equality in housing. I'm going to fight for you name it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That was one of the first things that I was taught by these people. Now, prior to that, I never ran for office. I didn't know too much about politics, but I got a crash course.
Okay.
And when I decided not to use those terms to deceive black people, telling them what I was going to fight for,
right.
When I found out, and I really kind of knew this from an economic development standpoint, the money is already earmarked for these things: education, economic development, housing, etc., from the state coffers to the local districts. What the politician does is decide what kind of horse trading, quote unquote, they're going to do with the other side of the aisle.
Wow. And this is where the politics get real sticky.
Sticky and dirty.
And dirty.
And the ones who usually are at the tail end of receiving the benefits that are already earmarked for their districts are the black residents of any particular district. I don't care what it is or where it is.
Wow.
Okay?
Right.
They are sharing, I'm going to use that term, sharing funds with majority white districts. And here's the thing about that. You have majority white districts who are Democrats and majority white districts who are, or that are, Republican districts. But the money goes into those districts. And how do you see the money? How is it seen that, hey, they got money here? It's in the investments. So when you see the shopping malls, the shopping centers, when you see the major retail box stores and outlets locating in those districts and not in the Black or African American district, you see how the economic policy or money policy changes from the state house as it transfers down to the districts. And who's responsible for that? The one responsible in the Black districts are the Black politicians.